Good evening. Happy Sunday. Today is June 23rd. We have exactly 7 days before the end of the month and before we hit the halfway mark through the year 2019. This has been a really, really tough year for me, and I have yet to post about all of it, to talk about all of it, to disclose a lot of things that people are not aware of that have gone on for me personally this year. And I'm sure that there's somebody out there that can relate, that somebody out there knows that this year hasn't been that great for them as well. And hopefully watching this page, you can find some inspiration, find something to help you hold on, to help you feel better, to help you know that you're not alone. That being said, last week I posted a very raw, quote unquote, naked video of my emotions and me dealing with suicidal ideation, dealing with pain and hurt and misery. I posted for 31 days in May, and I have to say that even though those were difficult posts and tiring and I felt drained by the end of the month, nothing was as hard to post as what I posted last week. The video is titled "I'm Sorry." It's on the YouTube channel. I'm not removing it for various reasons, but it was a tough post. It's a tough post to watch, but it was even tougher to do. But it's also tougher to live through it than it is to actually talk about it. So that being said, that post was taken from my YouTube channel and shared with a lot of people, and those people took it and used it in a way that was long story short, they used my post against me. They took my post, made up their own mind, decided what they thought was best for me, and shared it with my boss. Yes, my boss. I'm not ashamed of what I go through. I'm not ashamed of my feelings. I'm not ashamed of anything that I post on this page. However, everything in context is fine. However, what happened was it was presented as though somehow, it was presented to me as though somehow several people, it was a disruption to the workplace, and people were watching it at the workplace or watching it and couldn't work because they were so concerned and so disturbed by what was actually happening. I'm friends with very few people at my job for a reason, and I feel like I've made it a point that you should go to the person you're concerned about in all things that we do. But in doing so, this person caused me to have to sit in a meeting across from my boss and our HR specialist about my medical problem, about my mental stability, about my abilities to do my job while coping with my issues while under a doctor's care, a therapist's care. So it took what was a safe place, because in the midst of everything that I'm going through, work became a safe place because I could focus on something else, because I had other things to do, because I wasn't sitting at home twiddling my thumbs thinking about all the things that were hurting me and weighing me down and causing me pain at the time. So because of this person and their personal issues and inability to handle what I feel, it got sent to the wrong person and turned against me and created a situation where work feels quite hostile to me. I'm not saying it's a hostile environment, but it feels hostile because I've lost trust in just about everybody. Reason being, it wasn't presented in a way that if I had said I had cancer and I was struggling to cope with the treatment, or the treatment was it wasn't handled the same way. It was, if I don't do what they told me to do, I shouldn't talk about my issues anymore. And it sucked. It sucked being on that end of that conversation. But not only did it make my job not a safe place in terms of how I feel about being there, about me feeling like I can come here, focus on work, and not feel hostility, not feel anger, not feel pain. It's uncomfortable. Do I think anybody's out to get me? Do I think this was done maliciously? Not really, but it did change the situation for me. But it also changed pause for me. And it changed pause for me because I created pause as a safe place for myself and as a safe place for other people who may not have one, where they could talk about the fact that they might be experiencing suicidal ideation. They might be experiencing some depression, some mania, some anxiety, some things that are making them feel out of place, things that are making them think of things that they shouldn't be, things that might even, have them thinking about suicide, And I created it because just because you have suicidal thoughts does not mean you're suicidal. Just because those things occur does not mean you're going to act on them. I've lived with them for over a decade now, and it's only happened to me once. And I've made it a point to engage certain tools and to be around, make myself available to and around certain people in order to combat those things. So it made pause for me unsafe. And I fear that it's unsafe for other people, because if someone else is posting about their struggles and, someone's willing to share that on the page, someone's willing to share that via a blog, someone's willing to share that via this YouTube channel with us as a means to say, hey, I'm here, I understand, I stand with you, I support you. I don't want it to be taken and distributed in such a way that it puts their livelihood or their life or their family or anyone else in jeopardy. So whoever that person was, I would request that you remove yourself from this page, because the reality is we all have stuff. We all have things that we're dealing with. We all have struggles. And if I can't vocalize how I'm feeling, if I can't show you me naked and raw and hurting and dealing with my mental illness without it then coming back to me at my job or any place that I've created that is safe for me because you felt some way personally about it, this isn't the place for you. Why is it not the place for you? Because you clearly need additional help. You need someone to help you manage your emotions when it comes to other people. I have posted resources. I have plenty of resources on my page, on my blog site. You could reach out to me via message to find those resources. I know where to go when I'm suicidal. I know who to talk to. I know what to do. I posted that because I felt like it did a disservice to everybody to pretend like I got it all together, because I don't. I know what has worked for me in the past. I know what works for me in minor issues, and I know what works for me in major issues. I've had some major issues this year. Several of them, back to back to back. It's like a boulder rolling downhill towards me. And some of it might have broken me for a period of time. And I'm sorry if it's too much for you to handle. I'm sorry if you don't get what I'm feeling. I'm sorry if it hurts you. I'm sorry if you, for whatever reason, felt like you had to go and violate me and violate the sanctity of this page. But I would advise you, if this is how you handle this for other people, you should stop.